no doubt. There's no time to doubt, because you've got to get back on track and never get off. That's the difference between having rules with TV. You can't watch TV all day. Get the fuck away from the TV. When's the last time you were outside? Those are the things we heard all day, every day, when you were around the TV too long or too close. It was, you better have a good reason to be by the TV. Those were the rules about the TV. I never, growing up, ever had a TV in my room. Not allowed. We were poor by those times. But then I moved in with my fake dad over at the beach. He had money. Brand new condo right on the cliff. Sunken living room, sunken garage. Banks everywhere. Cement everywhere. And no TV in my room. Didn't want one. What would I do with it? Lay in bed and watch TV? My generation didn't do that. I was growing up, I learned how to fly a plane. Okay, with the CIA, John Peters. At 5, he got his private license and then started having to do solo time to get, he was working on his instrumental. So he needed a passenger. I was 5, then all the way to 7. And then I started flying at 7. And he'd let me fly, I think earlier, because I was doing
I flew planes from 5 till 9.
And all that stuff. We were running drugs to Catalina Island from Cabal Airport, where Steve Alba and all his friends do time. It's in Upland, Ontario. It's Upland, little tiny airport. We'd rent Cessna, low wing 150s, low wing 250, 4-seater, Cherokee, low wingers, Pipers, and 720s. Go to Catalina, get a bowl of chili, drop off the dope, and then head back. It's only a mile long, the airstrip right there. So coming in, all the pilots I'd hear all the stories. I really loved the pilot stories. And it'd get all scared because even though it's a little longer than any of the other airports, it looks smaller because you're coming in and it's clip to clip in a small strip. And I got to land, catching him, put his hands on the steering wheel, if you will, and I would be like, "Don't put your hands on the fucking wheel," you know. And I caught him. Hey, that was like our thing. I got really good at racquetball. And I landed on, took off, did stalls. Every time I flew. Did the whole way to Catalina quite a few times. So you can't really tell anybody, it's normal. Water skiing with total pros at Lake Havasu. We'd rent a houseboat for a week and water ski with all these people that were flying in, like top water ski guys, and I would copy them and get beat. I was doing all their moves early in the game. Skateboarding in between that and jogging every morning. Surfing every morning at 5 o'clock, 5:30. Lived at Newport Terrace, right where Omar Hassan lives, CIA network over there by the state streets. You got the President Streets, the National Streets, all CIA. And I lived there, 19th Street Hill when I was 14. Then went to the Bicentennial 1976 200-year thing there in an open field, which later became condominiums. I think like Versailles, and then they stretched them out over to Ticonderoga, you know, right on top of the hill, Newport Crest, Superior Hill, and so I went from 19th Street Hill, which is a killer hill, right over to Superior. I had to ride that every day to go to the beach, which is fucking cool because you're on top of a hill looking down at the beach, and that's where I got really good on my skateboard. But CIA, learnings, and the things that I was given, and the things where I came from in Ontario, Upland, where I started flying with John. When the family was still together, we went to Cable Airport when he was first taking lessons. So it was all I knew. And I was his first passenger. Didn't know he was a drug dealer. Later on in one of the Christmas, I saw it in Breakfast Club. Hey, smokes for Johnny. I got 1 carton of smokes from John Peters. 19th birthday, maybe 21, was the one time I got a gift, and then he broke out a bindle of coke and we snorted it. So it was ritualistic on a date, June 12th. I can't remember if I was 20 or 21. Probably 21 anyway, because I had already been punk for a while, so I was into post-punk. Anyway, just checking in with you guys. The generation now just believes everything they fucking see. They're all raised on phones. That's why I brought this up. And, you know, their brains aren't fully developed. They're on games. They're all desensitized. There's not a lot of common sense. Trying to put it together, like, what's the difference between these ones now and then how they slow drifted, you know, for the last 40 years, 2 sections of 20s. They got the cry pillows, and they can't even handle any emotions. And then you got the Ritalins, where they're all on, I think all of them were, you know, this really hardcore Ritalin and drugs, hormone blockers. Who knows what they did? It's all RX fucking medication. How much of the planet's on medication? On top of that, how much of the planet is fucking alcoholic? Drinks alcohol daily. You don't have to call it an alcoholic, but it's a pretty not well-growing, spiritually growing. It's a very lying-friendly, unreality TV generation of phone freaks and game freaks. Where wearing a game helmet is normal, walking around. Everything's backwards on the kids in Back to the Future, right? They're dressing with their clothes backwards because there's no cent, not even 50 cents. What does that mean? M&M, is there any white M&Ms? War on the white race, white privilege. White privilege. How about trans privilege? Let's go with that. Have a great day. June 10th. J-Day.